Intel launched Arrow Lake Core Ultra 200S, big gains in productivity and power efficiency, not in gaming. The Intel announced the first 5 models of Arrow Lake desktop processors, otherwise known as the Core Ultra 200S series, with the price ranging from the 294 14 core core Ultra 5 for 245KF to the flagship and $589 24 core Ultra 9285K. The chip will come to the market on October 24, 2025. Intel says the Arrow Lake brings up to 15% more multi-thread performance, 5% a single-threaded performance, drastically reduced power consumption, and the first dedicated AI accelerator NPU in a mainstream desktop chip. Surprisingly, things aren't as positive on the gaming side of the quotation. Intel said its new flagship Core Ultra 9 285K matches AMD flagship Ryzen 9 9950X in gaming. However, according to our testing, Intel's own Current Gen 45900K flagship is 8 to 10% faster than Ryzen 9, meaning Intel's new Core Ultra 9285K flagship could be slower in gaming than its current gen HoloPod. Additionally, Intel said the AMD fattest gaming optimized chip, the Ryzen 7 7800 X3D, is 5 to 7% faster than the Core Ultra 9 285K, but based on our 7800 X3D tests and relatively positioning, the gap could be much larger. Of course, our testing will tell the final tale, and the mid-range processor could offer a stronger value proposition. After AMD's lackluster Gen gaming, the improvement each maintained the Gen 5 chips, the Intel lower production for the new Ultra 9. Intel new lineup makes it look like you will have to wait for a looming AMD Ryzen 9000X3D processor for any potential gaining the top tier gaming performance this year. That leaves the Arrow Lake as a higher performance productivity application drastic power reduction. Intel claims up to a 165 watt decline in total system power in a gaming, resulting in 10C lower operating temperature on averaging the key Core Ultra 200S key selling the points. The Core Ultra 200S series have plenty of other innovation too. Arrow Lake has a new architecture design element for desktop PCs, including a 5-chiplet design that are leveraging cutting edge for various 3D packaging in the tandem with a radically redesigned computer tile that intersperses cycle mount E-core cluster among the Lion Cove P-cores. Intel also discarded hyper-threading and support for both DDR4 and DDR5 memory like it had with the prior gen Raptor Lake processor, instead of going with only DDR5 while adding support for the new CUDIMM DDR5 module that boosts easily attainable memory overclocking speed to a DDR5 5000 and beyond, and Intel has new overclocking loops for enthusiasts as a new 800 series chipset. Besides these desktop parts, and Intel announced that its Core Ultra H and HX series for enthusiast class laptops are coming to market in the first quarter of 2025. There's a lot of ground to cover. We'll start with their SKUs and move directly to the performance claim and cover the new architectural components. Intel Arrow Lake Core Ultra 200S specification and pricing 200S. The Intel has switched to the same Core Ultra branding it uses for a mobile market, but used as a fix to differentiate the models. Intel began the series at 200S instead of 100S, which is representative and that makes sense without elaborating. Consider the Core Ultra 100 series was Meteor Lake. We assume it was a reference to Arrow Lake having more than in common with the Lunar Lake 200 series parts. As the 5 Arrow Lake SKUs slot into Ultra 9, 7, and 5 families with 12, 20, and 14 cores, matching their prior gen counterparts. However, the P cores no longer support hyper-threading, so the total thread counts are lower. Intel says it has actually increased performance in multi-thread workloads despite the removal. Hyper-threading the Intel has standard overclockable K-series models along with two KF-series chips that come without the integrated graphic engine, so you can save some cash on the two lower-end models if you plan to use discrete GPU. Intel doesn't have a KF option for Ultra 9285K, but a representative said that could be an option in the future. Intel Arrow Lake CPU specification versus and then Intel's Ultra 9 weighs in at $589, matching the launch day pricing of each previous gen 14900K counterpart. The $394 Ultra 7 265 kilo debuts for $15 less than the previous gen Core i7 14700K. It prices while the $309 Core 5 245 kilo is $10 less than the prior gen Core i5 to 14600K. These chips line up against the competing the AMD Ryzen 9000 processors as its prior gen counterparts did, as outlined in the above table. Detailed specs are also in the prior album. Note that the prices on a certain existing CPUs have changed drastically of late. The Ryzen 7000 X3D processors are out of stock at many places, so the street prices have shot up for the time being. Conversely, Intel's 14th gen CPUs have dropped substantially in pricing, likely due to the impending Arrow Lake launching, coupled with the Raptor Lake instability issues, which are hopefully now all addressed. The Intel dropped peak clock speed across the board with the Ultra 9 weighs in at 5.7 GHz, 300 MHz less than the prior gen, while the Ultra 7 and 5 get a 100 MHz reduction in boost speed. However, Intel has adjusted peak core-based clocks upward by 500 to 700 MHz. The E-core have also seen 200 to 600 MHz improvement in boost clocks and 600 megahertz to 1 gigahertz improvement in base clock speeds. Intel supports up to 192 GB and DDR5 6400 with the DDR5 CUDA DIMMs, a new type of DIMM that comes with integrated clock redriver that boosts easily attainable stable clock frequencies by stabilizing the data I. Intel also pointed to much higher overclocking headroom with the CUDIMMs and says the DDR5 8000 appeared to be the sweet spot. We were awaiting the more detailed memory specs such as the base memory frequency with the standard DDR5 DIMMs and the clock speed based on the number of DIMMs per channel as before the processor supported dual channel. Arrow Lake does support ECC memory, but it won't be supported on a customer's platform. Instead, that's reserved for enterprise systems. Despite Arrow Lake's claimed lower operating power consumptions, the chip still comes with a similar maximum TDP rating of 250 watt for Ultra 9 and 7, 3 watt less than the Raptor Lake, and a 159 watt, 22 watt less for the Ultra 5. Intel said the lower power consumption occurs during normal workloads with an up to 40% reduction in package power consumption, which we will expand on below. Intel also increased the maximum CPU temperature TJ max to 105 Celsius for the Arrow Lake, a 5 Celsius higher limit. All the 3K models comes with 24 lanes of PCIe 5.0 with an additional 20 lanes of PCIe 4.0 provided by the chipset. The Ultra 9, 7, and 5 all come with the same XE graphics engine with 4 Xe cores as the Meteor Lake chips, not the newer Battle Maze Xe2 engine found in Lunar Lake with the Ultra 9 and 7 sporting a 2.0 GHz graphic boost clock, while the Ultra 5 drops to 1.9 GHz. Intel says the IGP offers twice the performance of the graphics on the 14th gen processors. The chip also features the same NPU engine for AI accelerator on Meteor Lake, not Lunar Lake. This engine provides up to 13 TOPS of the INT8 throughput, which doesn't meet Microsoft Copilot's requirement of 40 more TOPS. Intel is decided to go with the smaller engine to balance the die area requirement. A larger engine would chew into a space available for other additives and cores like cores and cache. Frankly, considering most desktop interested in AI will have a dedicated GPU they can leverage. The presence of a relatively low performance NPU hardly seems to matter. Increasing power efficiency for AI workloads on a desktop while drastically cutting potential performance. An RTL 4060 as just one example offers 2 and 42 TOPS of the compute. Just isn't a critical factor. The chips drop into a LGA 1841 socket, so that they are not compatible with the existing motherboards. Existing coolers should be compatible with the requisite mounting hardware, but the need for a kit could vary by vendor. Unlike AMD, Intel won't commit to using LGA 1851 a socket for future processor generations, simply saying that it doesn't comment on a potential future product. That could mean that LGA 1851 will end up as a single generation socket. Intel Allo Lake Core Ultra 200S gaming benchmark. Here we can see the Intel's gaming performance claims against AMD's Ryzen 9000. But as always, view these vendor-provided benchmarks with caution. Intel used each application optimizer APO software for these tests, so the result will be lower without that software enabled. We provide the test notes in an album at the end of the article. We also explain the cause of the lower than expected gaming benchmark in the architecture section. The Intel said each new flagship Core Ultra 9285K matches AMD flagship Ryzen 9 9950X in gaming, but the AMD chip is about 10% slower than Intel's current gen Core i9 14900K, so the new flagship Core Ultra 200S series should be slower than gaming than Intel's prior than 14900 flagship. By making matters even more challenging for Intel, AMD's first specialized gaming chip, the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, is 15 to 20% faster in gaming than a 9950X in our own tests. However, Intel said the 2085 kilo will only lag the 7800X3D by 5 to 7%, which does adds up to based upon real-world testing of the 7800X3D and its relative positioning to the 9950X. As you can see, the 285K trailed the 9950X by up to 13%, Cyberpunk 2070, and also trailed for other titles. Intel benchmarks show the 2085K matching the 9950X in 6 titles, while beating it 4 additional titles. However, the large plus 28% advantage in total Warhammer's 3 years in Mirrors of Matthew's benchmark stress the CPU cores in an almost synthetic hive workload. The size of this single outlier also influences the average performance heavily, so we could see the 2085 kilo coming lower overall than a 9950X in various review test suits. Intel also provided a very narrow selection of 5 gaming benchmarks against 595 and 7950X3D, showing it significantly lags into the benchmarks while having a 15% advantage in one title. We expect that the deltas will be the 7950X3D's flavors in larger range of title. In the same slide, Intel points a stronger performance advantage over 9950X3D in a range of heavily threaded productivity workloads like Blender and Cinebench, a proof point of the balanced level of performance. Intel also tested the Ultra 7 to 65K as offering the roughly 5% less performance than a 14900K and at up to a 188 watt lower power consumption and 15G lower temperature mean. Intel didn't provide any benchmarks to substantiate those claims, so Intel is also keen to point out each low power consumption metric in gaming, which will cover below, but only included comparison to its own prior gen chips, not AMD's Ryzen 9000. Intel Allo Lake Core Ultra 200S power consumption improvement. The overall, oh, it's quite long, but I don't think I don't need to read all this. Okay. Oh. Hmm. I read this very long. I read a part of this very long article. Intel launches the Allo Lake of Ultra 200S with gains in productivity and power efficiency, but not in the gaming. Thank you for your time and see you next time.